Let's keep this moving because, dude, I said,
A
dude.
lot
Like,
happened.
who am I saying, dude to? Like, fucking dude to the Counter-Strike world. This has been these last it's been a week. It's basically everything's happened in a week. Shit has been popping off, and today it feels like it's going even more wild. PGL, they just announced that they're going to be hosting the next major, the first major in 2 years. The last one was the Berlin major by Starladder back in 2019. Jesus Christ, where is time going? And PGL, if you guys don't know the history on them, they ran the Krakow major back in 2017. Now, some of you listening, if you're a hardcore fan, you probably remember that event, and you may be like, oh yeah, but this had this problem, this had this problem. Well, let's quickly recap some of that stuff because I was there, and I think there's a few misconceptions. There was the whole PC issue where the players were complaining about the PCs. I think that was to do with like the build of Counter-Strike at the time, if I remember rightly. So it wasn't PGL
about it, yeah.
Yeah, so PGL got flack for that when it wasn't their fault. Then we had the whole big fucking drama with those scumbags abusing the jump thing, right? In like, it's not just a boost like what Olaf and shit did. They were exploiting something and laughing while doing it. So that kind of marred that one in a kind of like negative stance. And there were
Good
lots
to know
of
where you stand on that subject, by the way.
Oh, mate, fucking hell. Like, what's going on? Anyway, we're not getting started on that. Basically, what I want to try and frame for everybody is I want you guys to think about the good stuff you've seen PGL do. Like, they were one of the first to start integrating these customized HUDs and stuff. And they were also working on, I thought that their 360 stage for that event was really quite cool. I think they obviously have some cool elements. We haven't seen a lot from them on the European scale in some time. They've been doing a lot of their events either in conjunction with Perfect World or in Asia and stuff. So it's good to see them getting back. I know that the streaming quality is one of the things that they announced, like 4K 60 FPS or something. To me, I'm not a tech guy. I don't know if that's cool, but I think having it in Stockholm and having it definitely towards the tail end, right? It's it's October to November is the range. I'm praying to Lord bloody Gabe that one of two things happens, right? Like, we all know that COVID might still be around fucking us until October, but because we know now, because they've announced it now, and we know that things are going to kind of hopefully, like, I'm trying to live in a positive world here, guys. So hopefully get better week after week, month after month. As we move closer to that event, either they're going to have really good restrictions in place or understand how long they need to get these players and get them into the event, or we're going to be in a place where we can travel again, right? So those things are concerns that I'm sure PGL and Valve will be monitoring on the way. But like, what were your initial thoughts when you saw this pop off, Prof?
I just want to add about like the whole COVID thing. I did see on Twitter Trans, formerly of Twitch, now can't remember the name of the company that he's in, but he lives in Sweden. Says that the plan is, like, their plan is to have everyone essentially vaccinated by that date.
Okay.
So that might be a reason why Sweden was picked, right? So
sure.
Is he lagging just for me, or
no? Well, it was overall, but I think he's better now.
Okay. But yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind. Other than that, I think you can feel like some good vibes in the community just based on this announcement.
Yeah.
So I think that was needed.
What were you thinking, Striker, when you saw it? Anything pop into your mind initially?
I mean, 4K broadcast, that's definitely a big up. Because I feel like they've done it already in the perfect, what was it, PGL, whatever it was called.
Was it the Asian
Chinese?
League?
Yeah, exactly. One of the Asian leagues. I'm pretty sure they already did a 4K broadcast there, because I seem to remember watching it even. And so to see it on a much bigger scale, obviously, would be really nice, just because it's like the next step in broadcast, right? We've had full HD for fucking ever, and we've had like bigger resolutions for quite a long time now. So I feel like that's a pretty natural next step. We all know that. I mean, we've heard that it's expensive and stuff like that. I understand that. So I'm just glad that it's coming. That's definitely a highlight for me. Yeah, apart from the fact that we're actually getting back to majors, you know.
Well, hopefully, right? Like, if we can get any lands in this year, I'm sure that's going to be, people are going to be ecstatic about that. Obviously, with a crowd is where we want to be. So if everybody just wants the details, there's 24 teams, $2 million is the prize pool. Those teams are going to still be identified through a series of regional major ranking events. So
I'm still curious about whether that means that it's going to be reset for this year, because it's almost sounds like that's what they mean.
Yeah.
But I'm not entirely sure that was intended. sound like that.
This is what it says verbatim on the blog post, just for those of you. Actually, I'll link it to you, Lucas, so you can show the viewer at home as well. It's just there for you. But it says in the bottom section under the image, 24 teams will battle out for their share of a $2 million prize pool. Those teams will be identified through a series of regional major ranking events throughout the year, initially taking place online and culminating in at least one offline RMR per region prior to the major. We'll provide more details about 2021 RMR events soon. So that means that there has to be LAN events before the major can happen. So that's going to put us on we're already in the middle of January now, right? This year is going to go so quick, guys. We're going to be in November before you fucking know it. So this is something that maybe we have to have like a COVID, like 5 minutes at the start of every show. All right, guys, what's the world looking like? Do we think this is likely or not? Because it's so hard to tell, and I don't want to get bogged down in that shit because you've all probably fed up of fucking hearing it in the news. So this is exciting stuff. I think we've capped that off pretty well. Hopefully we can get this event underway and we can all enjoy Counter-Strike the way Stockholm's going to be fantastic. One of the original homes for Counter-Strike Sweden, and I saw people tweeting saying TI is meant to be in Stockholm as well. Is that true?
It's meant to be the same exact venue. It was supposed to be there at the end of last year, but obviously got postponed because of all this shit.
Sure.
And I think somebody said that it's supposed to be there, like whenever TI comes.
Yeah. So that's quite an interesting thing as well that we bring up there, because when we look at the TI and the CS:GO major, they've never really like had anything to do with each other.
Yeah.
But one of the things as well that people might not be too familiar with is that I think PGL for a very long time, and I probably still do, had something to do with TI, whether it was production. So if you're Valve, and like as far as I'm aware, they're very good friends with the people over there at PGL. It makes a lot of sense if they're going to try and do the same location, if they're going to try and do the similar protocols, keep people in that environment. So it could be good, right? It definitely could be good.
Well, I mean, never mind. Go ahead.
I've just quickly before we maybe move away from this, I've had some people tweeting at me and some comments I'm reading of people saying that they don't have ad blocker on, but are getting that thing at the start when they are tuning into the stream. If you're doing embedded streams, I know that starts to be a thing as well, guys. So just for those of you who are watching live, if you're doing an embedded stream, you might get those problems at the start. All right, before we move away from this, anyone else have anything they want to say about the major?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Just hope it happens.
Yeah. Cool.